Truth, justice, the Big Sills way. Good afternoon. Big Sills here, National Football Show. Please hit the like button, and we are packed today. By the way, I love talking to my boy, Philly 500. Hour number 2, 4:30 Eastern time. Be prepared. He loves the fact, and by the way, he said he wants to debate me a little bit on my takes on Jalen Hurts. So we will talk with him. That'll be at 4:30 Eastern time. I want to start before I get going here. Big Sills top 10 NFL teams. Big Sills MVP race. Big Sills quarterbacks heading into week 14, the rankings. And as I said, Philly 500, 4:30 Eastern time. Okay. I want to clarify something here about my take on Lamar Jackson. And some of you that have gone over to my Twitter page at Dan Sileo Show, he got hurt in the pocket. No, he didn't. That's where he was hurt, yes. But that's not why he was hurt. Once again, it's not where you're hurt on the field. It's the style of play, idiots. It's the style of play. Are you going to sit here on December 6th and try to tell me you don't think that a running quarterback has more wear on him? Where? Not where he was hurt, but wear on him than a drop-back quarterback. Sills Garoppolo got hurt. I get it. I don't care. Garoppolo and Lamar Jackson. Jimmy Garoppolo is totally injury prone. So is Tua Tagovailoa. I'll get to him in a minute. You can't fundamentally sit here and tell me that you don't think a guy who runs the ball and throws the ball, who gets hit in the pocket and hit out of the pocket, doesn't have more wear on him. You guys are talking to me where Lamar was hurt in the pocket. That's not, again, anything I'm talking about. Once again, you guys don't see through the trees through the forest, or the forest through the you don't see it. This guy consistently gets banged up. You don't think that Jalen Hurts in 4 years from now is going to be like Lamar Jackson is, missing games and hurt? Why would you think that because he's smarter? I have to agree with that a little bit. But why in the world would you not think, with the same style of play? Remember something, Lamar led the NFL in touchdown passes. That Jalen's not going to be in the same position that Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson is in currently. Missing game. He's most likely going to miss a game this weekend against the Steelers. A PSL injury. Harbaugh came out, John, and said today it's most likely he won't play. Why are you thinking that Hurts is Superman when no player in the history of the NFL has been able to do what you want him to do? Jalen Hurts doesn't have a 10-year career. No one does. With that style of play, you're trying to tell me you think that Jalen in 5 years will not be suffering the same injuries that Vic, Cam, Colin Kaepernick, Lamar Jackson have all suffered? How dumb can you be to think that? It's the law of averages. By the way, he's already had a surgery last year. That's the beginning. That's the beginning. Jalen doesn't run the ball as much. Really? Prior to this last week, he ran the ball 30 times in 2 weeks. Not true. You guys keep touting that big, he's got, Sills, you got to put the rushing numbers. The more you see rushing numbers with Jalen Hurts, the more chance that guy gets his ass worn down, and he's Lamar Jackson. So you guys are under the premise right now that you believe in your soul that he's not going to have the same type of situation and the same type of issues that Lamar Jackson goes through. How idiotic can you be? I mean, honestly, he slides a lot. I give it to you. 215, I totally do. I think he's smarter. Hey, let me go here with you. If you don't think that kid in Buffalo is also going to be in that position, they've got to do everything in their power to fix that scenario up there in Buffalo, or he's going to be in the same position that Lamar Jackson is too. This is not something that's just a Jalen thing. That could be with Josh Allen. By the way, I would even say this more because I don't think Josh Allen is as smart as Jalen. But they got to fix that shit up there too also. Or that guy's not going to have a 10-year career. Okay, I mean it. I mean, listen. This is why Miles Sanders might be the most important player in the Eagle huddle. As long as you have that dynamic in the backfield, I'll tell you this: if you lose Miles Sanders this coming offseason and don't replace him with a viable replacement, Jalen Hurts will have issues moving forward after Miles Sanders is no longer an Eagle, because then he'll be asked to carry more of the weight, like Lamar is in Baltimore. You have got to make sure that O-line and that running game continues to prosper, or you're taking the health of your quarterback. Look, watch this. You guys say this to me. Oh, he squats 600 pounds. I don't give a shit if he squats 1,000 pounds. It's the NFL. It's the war of attrition. How many times do you hear that shit? I'm just saying, don't let Jalen Hurts go down the same highway that you're seeing Lamar Jackson go down in Baltimore. This guy has got a bag of money on the line. I'm going to tell you this. If I'm Lamar Jackson, why would I want to play in Baltimore next year? What do you have to offer me? Money? I could get that anywhere in the open market. He'll be able to get anyone to come up with $235 million, $230 million, $250, whatever it is. Anywhere. Miami, anywhere. Why would he stay in Baltimore? Your defense sucks. They haven't retooled the wide receiving core. The tight end is really good. Outside of that, JM says that Lamar Jackson's Vic 2.0. Okay. So is Jalen. Put Lamar Jackson in Las Vegas. Got a running game there. And you got Devonta Adams there. Lamar Jackson with the Raiders kind of makes sense to me. Right? Hurts passing gets better and better every week, Sills. You don't think we can work his way into being more of a traditional passer? No. Why would you want him to be, Sean? 1 week, a team has to prepare for 153 yards rushing. And then the next week, they have to prepare for 380 yards passing. Why would you make him one-dimensional? Don't you think Brady wishes that last night he could have took off running with that wide open space? Brady can't. Brady can't. Why would you take one of those parts of the game away from him? Why would you take that away? This is who these guys are. Lamar Jackson is exactly what he is and why he's in the league. Now, some would go, well, he did lead the NFL in passing touchdowns when he won the MVP. I get that. I totally understand that. But Jalen Hurts is going down the same road as Lamar is. And get this, history repeats itself. Now, I will put this asterisk out there. I think Jalen's smarter, and I say it again, he's smarter. I completely agree. He doesn't put his body in a. I'll tell you what, he plays the game a lot like Russell Wilson does. Russell Wilson never really takes head-on hits. And by the way, you don't really see big dudes hitting Jalen Hurts like you do seeing big guys hit Lamar. Big guys and linebackers hit Lamar Jackson. Linebackers really don't tag Jalen. It's more DBs, guys his size. He gets down for the big guys. He's smarter. There's no question about it. But when you watch Lamar Jackson missing games, this will be the third year in a row he'll miss games. You're going to pay a quarterback $250 million that's starting to get injury prone? 3 years in a row is injury prone. I don't care how many games it is. Again, one of the reasons that Garoppolo is most likely going to be moved on from San Francisco in this offseason is not because of his ability. They're not moving off of Jimmy G because of ability. They're moving off of Jimmy G because of availability. Availability. Isaiah, I don't give a shit what Jalen's built like. When you play in the NFL for 17 weeks, the war of attrition will wear down even guys like Micah Parsons. It'll wear down the best players in the NFL. Nobody is subject to that not happening to them. Everyone. I said it yesterday. 75% is 100% right now in the season. If you're 75%, you're going. You're going. You're right, JM. Hurts is not Vic. He's not better than Vic. He's not. Does he have a chance to be? Let's see it. Let's see it. I think you guys forget how great Michael Vick was. Robert Quinn hits the IR. Wow. Again, financially, though, not a hit. Fourth-round pick, though, was given up to the Bears. So, again, kind of a mid-draft pick, and you got nothing out of it. So, that's an F. Okay? And I thought he was going to bring something to the table. He brought nothing, and he cost them a fourth-rounder. Okay, so at the end of the day, that was one of the very few moves that Howie made that failed. That failed. But here's this. Watch this. I don't kill him for it. You know why? Because you got a proactive general manager, and he's trying to go and push the chips in to try to win a Super Bowl. I have no problem with it. This guy sees it right now. It's in front of him. He sees the finish line. I'm talking Howie Roseman. He sees the finish line. 85, thank you very much. The Eagles could have 1,000. Never happen. Ever. You will not have 2 1,000-yard receivers. You will not. It's funny how a guy has one game and he's had really only 4 and 30. And you guys still think he's going to hit 1,000 yards, Devonta Smith. He's had 4 100-yard games in 30 games. 4. And he's going to start stringing these things together. How idiotic. One game. This is his second game of over 100 yards in 12 games, Devonta Smith. But yet, everyone's like, we'll have 2. Absolutely not. He's got 4 100-yard games in 29 NFL games. But all of a sudden now he's going to go on this stretch run of being able to have 1,000. My God almighty. Prisoner of the moment. That's what many of you are. Many of you become prisoners of the moment. And quite frankly, that's not how that offense works. 1 week they'll run it. 1 week they'll pass it. 1 week they'll run it. 1 week they'll pass it. You don't have a consistent passing game. Big Sills, do you think the Eagles will go after Roquan Swift if the Ravens don't re-sign him? No. I think they'll want to re-sign their own guys. Okay, I think they'll re-sign. I think they'll re-sign their own guys. Sills is forgetting that Goddard isn't out there. I'm not forgetting anything. Smith only needs 290 yards to clip 1K. Good luck. Hope it works out. Hope it works out for him. Hope it works out for him. I really do. He already has 700 yards with 5 to go. His second 100-yard game of the year. And you guys think that this guy here is a prolific, big money guy. Where do you see that? And getting to 1,000, I'll take Jamar Chase and Jalen Waddle any day. Any day. Those are big-time receivers. Let me get to the topics. Oh, before I do, can I ask you this? If you were Bryce Young and Will Anderson could be an Eagle. Okay? Why would you play in the Sugar Bowl for Alabama? No disrespect, Xander, but why would I play for Alabama? What's the point? I could either be the number 1 or number 2 player taken in the upcoming April draft. Be guaranteed $35 million. Why would I play in a stupid-ass Sugar Bowl for free? Why would I do that? We're not talking about a guy who's going to be the 20th pick or the 30th pick. We're talking about 2 guys that are going to go 1 and 2. Why in the world? And you know what? Quite frankly, Nick Saban should be telling those guys, don't do it. You should be acting more like John Calipari. Calipari tells his guys that are really great players at Kentucky, you got to go to the NBA. Okay? You're going to make all the money you need, and you're going to have generational wealth. You need to go to the NBA. Coming back to play at the SEC and try to win a national title is dumb. It's dumb. Will Anderson could go to the Eagles. Have a guaranteed contract of $30 million plus. Why in the world would I play at Alabama? I know too, man, it's hard for me to say this because I would love to play in the Sugar Bowl too. I've actually gone to a Sugar Bowl. It's a fun experience. But why in the world would I do that? Why in the world would I do that? Makes no sense. Final hit on my hit list here before we get to the topics. Tagovailoa. I'm done with that. Tua's hurt again. Questionable on he'll play this week. Why am I sitting here debating a guy who's constantly hurt? He's been hurt since Bama. Has there been a year in the last 4 years in Tagovailoa's career that he hasn't been hurt? Since Bama and that injury, Xander, was it Tennessee that he got hurt? Or LSU? I forget. It was either Tennessee or LSU he got hurt where he hurt his knee and his ankle. Since that game, he's never been healthy. He's never been healthy for a full season. Can you build a championship team around a guy who's a concussion away from retirement and is made of balsa wood? You can't build your team around Tagovailoa. That's a damn shame because he's a talented kid. He's a talented kid. Chris Greer's got a tough decision to make. He does, man. Fans of Miami love the kid. He's been a great team leader. And the head coach loves him. But can you really have your quarterback going in and out of the lineup? Philly goes, Tua could be in the Super Bowl this year. Yeah, I know. That's what makes it crazy. But he could also be on the IR for the rest of the year. And I'm not saying with this ankle injury that he has now, but they're talking about him potentially missing time again. I don't see it. I don't know how you build your team. I don't know how you build your team around a guy who you're not sure is going to be there every week. Okay? I just don't see it. Okay. Let me ask you this here about Jalen Hurts and the Eagles in general and the coaching staff. You think they have enough experience, playoff experience, to carry them to a Super Bowl championship? How many guys are left on the team from 2017? She had hardly anybody on defense. Fletcher, Brandon Graham. 2 or 3 guys on defense. Guys on offense, Kelsey, Lane. That's it. That's it. Jake Elliott. I think you need a good place kicker in the postseason. That's Tom Brady. I think that's important, having Jake Elliott in the postseason, especially with this team. Because remember something about Tom Brady. Tom Brady, he needed special teams to win Super Bowls early in his career until he saw the game. By the way, Brady was magic last night. And you really want to see Tom Brady in the playoffs? Do you? Eagle fans. You want to see that guy? What you saw last night in the playoffs? We'll beat Tom Brady. You haven't. And right now it's wishful thinking. It's wishful thinking that you could beat Tom Brady in the playoffs. Wishful thinking. Once again, precedent is set. They beat the pants off you in January. Different team. Tom Brady's got a different team right now. His entire O-line's out. You got one guy standing left. One guy. And you want Jonathan Gannon going against Tom Brady? Really? You're going to play a soft-ass zone against Tom Brady? Really? I want to see that. My money's on TB12. My money would be on TB. If you got into a divisional game with Tom Brady, W2 goes, here we go. Here we go where? You mean the 7-time Super Bowl champion who's on pace for 4,800 yards passing and the most attempts and completions, has 2 picks all year? Yes, that Tom Brady. Yes, that Tom Brady. Brady's on pace for almost 5,000 passing yards. Yes, that Tom Brady. Okay? Yes, him. Bring on old-ass Tom Brady. Oh, boy. I would say this if I'm Tom Brady. Bring on Jonathan Gannon. The greatness of Jonathan Gannon. T-Car, I do think the Bucs are going to face the Eagles in the divisional round. That's who I do think they'll play. Okay? Now, if a wild card team wins, in the first wild card week, they'll play the lesser team seeded. Okay? But I think the divisional winners are going to win. And the Eagles will get the bye. Okay? You could play the Cowboys in the divisional round because they would be a wild card. You could imagine that. Your game could be against the Dallas Cowboys in the divisional game at Lincoln Financial. I think it's either going to be the Bucs or the Cowboys. Sydney, it's not Jalen in the playoffs that I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about that lame-ass DC you have. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's the Seahawks. You damn well the Bucs wouldn't beat the Eagles. Oh, you're kidding me. Why? They crushed you. Here, I don't have my coin here. But the only thing that game was close was the coin toss. We're a better team now. Oh, we'll see. We'll find out. You're 0-1 against Tom Brady. Or is it 0-2? I forget. They kicked the shit out of you so many times, I've forgotten. Was it 2 times last year? I forget. Was it? I think it was 2 times that Brady beat the piss out of you. I forget. Brady's got so many wins, especially in the postseason. When the Eagles were 6-0, we ain't playing nobody. 41-33. Oh, okay. Yeah. Eagles are so dangerous. They are. Last year, Big Sills. I'm not hating on anything. I think the Eagles are playing great. I think they're playing great. So you think you have enough game experience to get into the postseason? I was asked this question. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think that ass beating you took by the Bucs, I think that helped you. You learn more from defeat than you do success, I think. And I think the Eagles learned a lot from that Bucs game. Do I think that Bucs game would be completely different this time around with this Jalen Hurts versus that Jalen Hurts? I do. I still think am I right, Xander, when I say this? Of all the people in the playoffs you don't want to face, do you want to face a 7-time Super Bowl guy who's still playing good football? Is Brady 25 years ago? No, but he's going to throw for 5,000 yards this year. It's not like this guy sucks. He's got 2 picks. How about this? Brady's got less picks than what Jalen does. You're making Brady sound like he sucks. His team is a mass unit around him. Dank, like your chances against the Bucs? I would say true. I would say true. It's not Brady. It's not Brady. Here. It's not Brady. It's the team around him. And he's still carrying them right now to first place in the division. Is it a wonderful record? No. Here, let's look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady stats. Let's see what Brady's doing right now. Brady's got 3,300 passing yards. He's got more passing yards than Jalen Hurts. Let's take a look at this. Brady's got more passing yards than Hurts. Ain't him. And he's throwing at 66.2 completion percentage. You guys are out of your tree if you want to face this guy. 47-20 he's on pace for. 25 touchdowns. That's actually the same number that Jalen's on pace for. He's got 4 picks, excuse me. No, he's got 3 picks currently right now. What's his quarterback rating is not as high as Jalen's, 91.6. You're making this guy sound like he's having a shitty year. How about this? He's also on pace for 500 attempts. No, 742 attempts and 500 completions. Jalen won't throw 500 passes this year. Out of your tree about Brady. Okay? Out of your tree. Jalen's going to have 20 running touchdowns as well. 20 running touchdowns you think Jalen Hurts is going to have this year. And you don't think he's on the pace to be Lamar Jackson, banged up in 3 years. Good luck paying that. Hey, you'll come back. It's okay. I get it. Because usually this is what happens. You'll come back in a few years when this guy is in tatters. 20 rushing touchdowns for your starting quarterback. And you want to pay that guy $50 million. My God almighty. Some of you are so ignorant and dumb. It's beyond the conversation piece for me. He's already better than Jalen Hurts is not better than Lamar. What stat do you think that's true? Has he won a unanimous MVP? No. Has he led the NFL in touchdown passes? No. Has he won 75% of his games? No. What are you talking about? He's actually beaten Mahomes too. Out of your tree. You're out of your tree. Lamar Jackson's 25 years old. And he's already probably in the AFC. Here's the accomplished quarterbacks in the AFC. And here's the accomplished quarterbacks in the NFL right now outside of the old guys like Brady and Rodgers. Mahomes is the most accomplished. I would say that Burrow won an AFC championship in a year and a half being in the league. Won a division title. Probably Lamar second. Lamar's unanimous most valuable player. Only Peyton Manning has done that. Your guy's not winning the MVP. We're going to get into that here in a minute. As a matter of fact, let's get into the MVP race. Let's get into the MVP race. And we'll talk about every one of these. As you know, I have a vote. I have a vote. Okay? Hurts has more wins than who? How does he have more wins than Lamar Jackson? He's been in the league longer. Here is the Big Sil's MVP race. Number 10, Dak Prescott. He's coming for you. Christmas Eve. Be there or be square, baby. AT&T. Got to be there Christmas Eve. Dak playing good ball. 3 touchdown passes. Beat the hell out of the Colts. Dak Prescott rolling his sleeves up and moving up the MVP conversation. Dak is back. Number 9. Can't keep the old dog out. Tom Brady carrying a wounded football team on his back. How insane would it be if Brady wins number 8? Gets all his guys back just in time for the playoffs. And Brady goes on a run and wins number 8. Can you see it? I sure can, because I've seen it for 22 years. Here's one of the most amazing stats about Tom Brady. Tom Brady has been to so many Super Bowls. Every other year that he's been the starting quarterback, Brady's been to a Super Bowl. You're never going to see that again in pro football history. Guy play that long, at that high level, and be that accomplished. He will be the GOAT of GOATs. Nobody will ever put on a football uniform again and do the things that Brady did at that position, the most important position in the NFL. Nobody. You look at Brady and you should really look at Tom Brady right now and go like this. I was in the era of Brady and I got to watch him just like you got a chance to watch Michael Jordan. What a great football player. Unreal. Tom Brady, what a career. Brady's like Babe Ruth? Yeah. One thing about Babe Ruth, Manster, you want to hear something about Babe Ruth? Do you know there's actually only 14 minutes of actual game played video of Babe Ruth? And we still talk about Babe Ruth 85 years after his last game. You want to know impact? We didn't have television. We didn't have social media. My daughter knows who Babe Ruth is. Think about that. My daughter has no idea who Mike Schmidt is, but she knows who Babe Ruth is. 85 years after his last ball game, with the Boston Braves, Babe Ruth is still remembered. Always remember that. Always remember that. 14 actual minutes of game film of him. There's not a lot of it. We go by the record books and the fact that he was the greatest player of all time. 100 wins as a pitcher, 700 home runs. Unreal. Shohei Ohtani, what he's doing, that's why Shohei Ohtani is my favorite ball player right now in baseball. Love him. And always remember this about Ruth. You know what made Ruth so great? He barnstormed with the Negro Leagues. And the one year that he took Garrick with him, Garrick hit 49 bombs. Ruth hit 60. Said, you want to really know where good pitching is? It's in the Negro Leagues. And Babe Ruth would play in the Negro Leagues or barnstorm with the Negro Leagues, Satchel Paige and those guys. And he would play with those guys in the offseason. That's why Ruth was such a great hitter. Seen all the great pitchers, black and white back. He was one of the only guys to do that. Mr. International, I had the privilege of meeting Jackie Robinson. He lived in my city, and my father played golf with him. How about that for you? Number 8 on the Big Sills MVP race. DeSante, it was called the Negro Leagues. So many race baiters. Idiotic. Geno Smith, how about the Seattle Seahawks working on a 2-year contract extension for Geno Smith? Here's what I say. This is the Big Sills MVP race. Congratulations, Geno. What an absolutely fabulous season. I know Xander's a fan too. All I'm saying is congratulations to you, man. I think it's one of the greatest stories I've seen in quite some time for a guy that people threw in the pit and left for dead. And you to rise like the Phoenix, like you have, to be able to carry a football team and put yourself in a playoff race, has MVP all over it. Has MVP all over it. Number 7, Tyreek Hill. Funny, I was listening to Sports Take today, and in the MVP race, someone was going, I'd like to see Patrick Mahomes without Travis Kelce. Well, wait a minute, they took Tyreek Hill away from him. And he's having an even better year. You took the best wideout away from him. You want him to have nobody? Why don't you take AJ and Devonta then away from Jalen? Be the same shit you saw last year. You think Jalen's going to be winning ball games without A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith? I mean, give him one guy. I mean, he lost Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's in the conversation for the most valuable player award. Crazy. Number 6 in the MVP race for Big Sills vote. The greatness of Josh Allen. Sileo, he's a turnover machine. Yeah, and his team's number 1 in the AFC playoff race right now. Unbelievable. His greatness is so on display that his team would get the bye if the playoffs were today. How could he be a turnover machine and have the number 1 team in the AFC? How can it be? Because he's great. That's how. Because he's great. How you doing? Look at Josh Allen, baby. Josh Allen's greatness is on display. Every time, when you watch Josh Allen play and you watch Jalen Hurts, I will give you this. That's a pretty damn good performance against the Titans. That's a good football team. But when you watch Josh Allen play, man, It's night and day, right? Josh Allen is such a better player than Jalen. However, he's not quite having the year Jalen's having. Number 4, got to put Tua in there. I think he's dropped a little bit. Performance against the Dolphins wasn't very good. There is nobody on the planet of football that would take Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen. Nobody. Nobody with any football sense would say, give me Jalen over Josh Allen. No, you wouldn't take Jalen Hurts over Justin Herbert. I'll take the throwing guy. You have the running guy. It's okay. It's a preference deal. I'll take the guy with the Chargers. And then we'll see what he does with Sean Payton's the head coach. Number 3, and massively coming up the list, Joey B. Joey B. Joey B. The reigning AFC conference champion, Joe Burrow. What's Joe Burrow's numbers, man? What's he like? Let's see what Joe Burrow's on pace for. Let's see what this legend is already on. Joe Burrow stats. Let's take a look at Joey B. Joe Burrow, 4,982, 37 touchdowns, 70 completion percentage, higher than your boy. 104.7. Damn, look at this kid, man. And he was 0-2 out of the gate. That's quarterback. Now we get down to the MVPs, 1 and 2. To recap, Big Sil's MVP vote is on the line. We're getting closer to the finish line. Dak 10, Brady 9, Gino 8, Tyreek Hill 7, Kirk Cousins 6, Josh Allen 5, Tua 4, Joey B is 3. Now your top 2 in the MVP race. For Big Sil's vote. Now you understand this fluctuates each and every single week. You know, I've always done this. I vote on every single award, college and pro, and I've always done this. I never put my emotions in the way of somebody's performance. Because I got screwed over for a couple awards when I was in college, and I said if I was ever in that position, I would never screw somebody over, especially if given a vote. And I have, and I'm very thankful that the NFL alumni give me this vote. Okay, for the NFL Honors Show, I get one of the votes. I got Patrick Mahomes number 2. I don't believe Hurts is going to win it. But I've got Mahomes too. I think Jalen really had a great week. And I don't really think Mahomes had the best week. Now, he was going against another MVP candidate. And he was going against Burrow. And if I really was being fair here, I would say that it's a tie. But I don't like ties. I think it's a weak way out. And it's a fence-straddling position to be in my business. So I can't do ties. and I won't do ties for my MVP vote. I don't believe he'll finish the year number 1, but after week 13, 380. His team didn't play all that hot, especially in the O-line, all those penalties, 12 penalties. The defense played great. Special teams stepped up. There was no running game. And I thought Jalen was throwing dimes. I got Mahomes 2 and Hurts 1. Did I want to? Would I pick Jalen as my no. But I have to be fair. Dak 10, Brady 9, Geno Smith 8, Tyreek Hill 7. This is heading into week 14 only. He doesn't get my vote right now. Kirk Cousins 6, Josh Allen 5, Tua 4, Joey B 3, Mahomes 2, Hurts 1. Somehow I feel like, I don't know. I can't screw a guy out of a vote. If it could be a deciding vote for him, I can't. I won't. I just won't do that. I can't do that. Ty goes to the runner, maniac. Oh, Ty goes to the maniac. Hey, runner. Okay, Ty goes to the runner. DeSante says, Dan's about to throw up. You couldn't be more right. You couldn't be more right. Hey, man. You could not be more right. Did I want to throw up in my airplane bag? Yes. But I cannot screw somebody over a vote that I think might matter. I just will not. Just breathe, Sills. Thank you, Peter. Oh, the truth hurts, Sileo. Arthur, shut up. Oh, man. Oh, goodness me. All right. Let's do this one now. Good grief. Oh, by the way, before I get into my top 10 NFL teams, okay? So, Bomani Jones is calling Deion Sanders a sellout. An African-American hating on another African-American because he got a job and it elevated him to a better job. Bomani Jones, who I hate with all my passion, thinks that Deion should have stayed at the HBCU program because, I don't know why, because they're black? So Deion shouldn't take an advancement like every other white coach? Deion's going to do more for African-American hires and assistant coaches at Colorado than he could have ever done at an HBCU school. He could be the next Dennis Green, giving opportunities to guys like Tony Dungy and Mike Tomlin and Lovie Smith. Don't you want that? What an absolute asshat to shit on Deion Sanders. Deion doesn't need the job. He's got a lifetime contract with Nike. He doesn't need it. He wants to do it. That guy thought that Deion was going to stay at the black college because they're black. You got an opportunity to make an impact in people's lives now, even bigger. Look, Deion did so much for the Dude, I love the HBCU schools. Go on my Twitter page. Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M are dear friends of mine. I love those programs. The Orange Blossom Parade that they have in Orlando is legend. I've actually been in that thing. It's one of the great events. If you've never seen it, and if you've never seen the Rattlers band, you're missing out. USC's got a great band, but Florida A&M's got a sensational band. Howard sucks. Must have roots to HBCU because I love those programs. Nate Newton played at A&M. I just love the HBCU programs. There's so many great legendary players. My friend Doug Williams, who's been on our program, played at Grambling, coached at Grambling. I just love those. But Deion, congratulations to you, man. Congratulations to you. Bomani's on CNN race baiting. Perfect network for it. Perfect network. Now, what Bomani's trying to do, he's trying to turn Deion into a liberal or a conservative coach and like a carpetbagger. When Bomani Jones is the carpetbagger, he's a horrible human. I hate that man. And my aunt doesn't like that word, but that guy has said some awful things about me, and he doesn't know me from a can of paint. Can't stand that guy. You know what I should probably do during this holiday time? I should probably reel that back in and go, hey, man, may God guide you. I should probably I'm going to reel that back in. And you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to send prayers to him instead. Hey, you know what, dude? I hope God's in your life. Okay, it's the holidays. Unbelievable. Top 10 NFL teams. I think you're going to be pretty shocked here where we are. Dak, America's quarterback. Nick, I like that. He is. Sean. Okay, thank you. Hey, Bruce, thank you. You know what, Bruce? My aunt's right. I shouldn't use the word hate. I should use the word God. God bless you, dude. You'll need it. Okay? No, Texas. It's not just one African-American picking on Deion, but he's the focal one that's on CNN blasting him. Let's get to the top. I want to get out of that topic because it's disgusting. Top 10 Big Sills NFL teams. You ready? Number 10 has to be one of the best stories in the NFL this year, and that is Geno Smith and the Seahawks. How about Pete Carroll? Pete Carroll was right about Russell Wilson being a cancer in the locker room. Look at what Russell Wilson has done to the Broncos. The Broncos are going to be in purgatory with that contract and those draft choices you gave up for him for 5 years. The Denver Broncos are going to be irrelevant for 5 years. 5 years. You can just at the beginning of the season go like this. There's 31 teams in the NFL because the 32nd team is a non-factor. You gave up all that draft equity and gave them $300 million. You're irrelevant for the next 5 years. Number 9. I don't think this is going to last long. Do you know that the Ravens were like a 7-point favorite going into the Steeler game this weekend? And now that Lamar looks like he's not playing, the Steelers are 3-point favorites at home. I think the Ravens, there will be a question whether or not they make the playoffs. They may finish second in their division. I'm not sure that's going to be good enough. But going into week 14, I got the Ravens at 9. Number 8. Dolphins got destroyed by the greatness of the 49ers. I think the Dolphins are going to be okay. This going to shake the world up. Big Sil's top 10 NFL teams. Number 7, the Minnesota Vikings. I'm with you guys. Sills, do you buy the 10-2 Vikings? No. Why don't you buy the 10-2 Vikings? Because every time they're in a big game, they get waxed. They get waxed. I do like Huntley at quarterback. I think the game is going to be very competitive. I like the kid Huntley. Top 10 Big Sills NFL teams at number 6. Joey B and his Bengals. They beat the Chiefs. Man, Joey B is coming on, boy. He looks good. That's a quarterback. That's my quarterback. Man, Joey B, man, it's got Joe Namath in him and Tom Brady in him. If you were going to draft one quarterback today in the NFL, it's Mahomes or Burrow or Allen. It's those 3 dudes. If you had to pick a quarterback between Mahomes, Allen, or Burrow, who would it be? Between them 3 superstars. Your boy Hurts is not in that group, by the way. He's not in that group. Don't kid yourself. He ain't in that group. Not happening. Allen runs way too much and way too reckless. Take Mahomes. And it's funny, Joey B just beat Mahomes. How you doing? Joey B. Joey B just beat Mahomes. Xander, last week. Joey B. That dude's good, man. Those 3 best quarterbacks, Allen, Mahomes, and Joey B. Loved me some Joey B. Here we now in the top 5. Number 5. Really doesn't matter who's quarterback. And, oh, by the way, did you hear the good news on Jimmy J? Might not be as serious as the doctors thought. They're waiting for some of the swelling to go down. Might not have to miss the entire season. Jimmy J. Come on, Jimmy G. Jimmy J. Love that dude. 45-19-0. Beat the pants off Jalen last year. Knocked out Dak. Knocked out. Did he make it to a conference championship game last year? Of course he did. Why wouldn't he? Jimmy J. Love Jimmy G. Number 4, Big Sills. Top 10 NFL teams. I've got the Kansas City Chiefs here. Now the top 3. You know, I talked to Florio the other day, and he asked me who I had as my top 10 teams. And he was pretty shocked. Number 3, the Buffalo Bills are number 3. And now the top 2 teams in the NFL. At number 2, who's playing the best football? Between that team and that team. Who's playing the best ball? At number 2, The Big Sills, top 10 NFL teams. Seahawks 10, Ravens 9, Dolphins 8, Vikings 7, Bengals 6, 49ers 5, Chiefs 4, Bills 3. At number 2, let me take a timeout. Let me take a timeout here. Hang on. I got to think about this. Because I'm going to submit it to the NFL Network, my top 10, after I do this. Hit the like button. Hour 2, don't forget. Philly 500. Keep it here on the National Football Show.